So some other cons for the composting toilet is the number needed. I mean, this kind of goes to the cost also. If a decent sized composter can only handle 100 uses a day, you might need multiple ones. The money skyrockets there, or even just the space, where if you have a vault and it can be pumped out, you don't need as much space. And then the maintenance, I mean, that's the big one. I keep talking maintenance, but you have to have dedicated maintenance people for a composter to actually work right. Now there's many positives as well for a composting toilet. I mean, a big one is the accountability. In the recreation field, it's always talked about user impact. But one of the largest impacts is never talked about. We shit. We need to take care of that. Accountability for the people who visit the area. Sustainability. I mean, a composter is a step in the direction of sustainability. And the right we're going, we need to be sustainable to continue living on this planet. Some more positives for a composting toilet is it can be a very remote site. The waste removal can happen there. And then with waste removal, it can be used for trail maintenance, re-veg, or just return to the land, just put in the woods. So for removed, stabilized compost from a composting toilet, it can easily be pasteurized by heating it 70 degrees Celsius for half an hour. A simple solar oven, more or less, built can be pasteurize the material. And with this pasteurized material, it can be used for trail maintenance, re-veg work. According to the EPA, all that has to happen with removed material is it's put in an area that visitors do not access. So, you know, a fenced off area or just in the woods where they don't go. You can even cover it with native soil, and that meets the EPA standards for use of composting material. So on this whole pro thing for the composting toilet, another big one is no water's used. My boss recently calculated that he saved over 1 million gallons of water by using composting toilets his whole life. 1 million gallons, one person. That adds up. And I'm not sure if I hit this one or not, but remote sites. You know, there's a lot of places where we install our units are remote sites where you can't get a pump truck to. So I think those are all the big things that I can think of yay or nay on the composting toilet. I'd like to talk a little bit about my experience with the composting toilet, because I've had one in my house, and it's been interesting at best at times. It works very well. I'm an advocate of it. I did my first removal this last spring, and I wasn't sure what to expect, so I kind of threw down a couple beers before I went into it, because I wasn't sure what it was going to be like. And the material I was pulling out was just this beautiful, just black mulch, just rich in nutrients. I mean, I was giddy. I was giddy moving this stuff out and throwing it in my garden. Like it was great. I recommend it. But it does take maintenance. This last winter, we got a little lackadaisical on the bulking agent by adding shavings every time we use the bathroom. And with that, we kind of got like this funky, like, anaerobic mass going in there. And we ended up with a fly issue, not up into the bathroom itself, but out of the fan, cleaning fan. And it wasn't until I actually reestablished the ecosystem within the tank that it righted itself. And all it took was inoculating it with some good compost from outside, get the bacteria back in it, and then going and finding some dung beetles out of horse manure and putting it in, and they took care of the fly problem. And now there's barely any smell coming out of it at all. The top, foot is pretty much composted within 2 weeks. I always tell people one of the best things about it is there's no smell in the bathroom, because once you open up the lid, at least on the unit I have, it exhausts straight out where you need to exhaust from. So, I mean, the wife's in the bathroom with me, and there's no big issue there. I've also used some facilities while recreating. We traveled to Cypress Island, canoed out there, my wife and I, and it was everybody we talked to, and us included, it was so nice to actually have a clean, non-smelling, like just pleasant facility to use. I mean, it was like almost like the convenience of home out in the wild. It was great. So for, I guess, a final thought on evaluating like a composter and is referrals. Like if you're looking to a company, look at the referrals. Call up the maintenance men and ask, well, call up the maintenance folk, call up the maintenance people. I mean, I don't know how politically correct we want to be here. So, evaluating composting toilets is contact maintenance people. Get referral lists. Talk to people and see what their experience is. And the maintenance people, they're the ones that know. I mean, they're hands-on, and they can tell you if it's working or if it's not. And I think that's very important, is to actually get some real-world data, opinions, before you jump into a purchase. That's all I have. Not the answer.